All right, folks. Gonna do a small countdown to make sure that all the softwares are synced up. Let me double check some of my settings here real quick. Okay, it appears everything's lined out. Welcome, and thank you for stopping by here on Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Kevin Miles, and tonight we're going to be talking about aging and sexuality. Because, quite frankly, I've been seeing far too damn many popular live streamers having these fucking debates with pedophiles. And I don't abide. So I'll be talking a little bit about pedos and then a little bit about Milfs. And we're going to start off pouring a little bit of Angel's Envy for the evening. Because you gotta get the juices flowing. If you don't have a little bit, then it's hard to ramble. Because frankly, I don't have a lot of news topics. I mean, I could cover some things. There's definitely been some things in the news, and you know, I just want to refresh my adamant urging from my Saturday stream that the asshole of the week is the judge in the Darrell Brooks trial. She continued to let him ramble, but today, thankfully, we had, 76 guilty verdicts plus modifiers for using a deadly weapon. So, good luck to Darrell Brooks. Hope you're treated in prison the way you have treated other folks in your lifetime. So let me go ahead and take a little swill of this here Angel's Envy, and we'll get to some topics for the evening. What do you say? Good stuff, good stuff. Let me move that bottle a little further away so I don't elbow it. So, I'm downright infuriated that so many people are willing to excuse pedophilia and talk to pedos and, you know, let the kind of pedo propaganda go on and on and on. You know, the latest was I was directed to a live stream that happened earlier this evening between Sitch and Adam and Mr. Girl. And quite frankly, I don't follow any of these people. But ultimately, the fucked up thing, ultimately their conversation broke down because they weren't being nice enough to each other. And I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell just happened to this live stream? I mean, you're talking about extremely moral versus immoral points of view, and, you know, speaking with conviction, but yet you don't have enough conviction to argue. You don't have enough conviction to stress your point when someone else isn't being so damn nice. And quite frankly, this isn't the first debate I've seen this happen in recent days concerning the topic of pedophilia. Which leads me to ultimately the conversation I want to have with you folks. You know, the memes are out there, right? So there's memes out there that, and I could probably bring this up. A couple weeks ago, there was the interview between Piers Morgan and Andrew Tate. And sometime during that interview, it was mentioned that Andrew Tate had a belief that younger women were more valuable. That they had something more to offer. And the way it was described, and again, he says that he said this in a conversation with people of other cultures and why people of cultures around the world do the things they do and are attracted to the mates they are attracted to. And so the idea was floated. Excuse the dog barking in the background. The idea was floated that, younger women who have less experience and therefore less mileage, less partners, had, more to offer in the dating market. And I think that's both true but disingenuous. There is some truth to that, but quite frankly, I think that's a disingenuous take, because as you'll find out on the next rant, because I'm going to take right from this rant into the next rant, Milfs exist, folks. Milfs exist, and not only that, but there's pedos, and then there's pedos too, and you have this tragic epidemic of young female teachers, and I use the term young loosely, right? I'm not saying that these are actually, young women. These are women in their 20s and 30s who are having sex with their students. And so if I were to take Andrew Tate's premise and the premise of some of these pedophiles that younger women are more attractive, and then again into the pedophile argument that you get into prepubescent, right? That this is what's attractive to these people. That for women, age is somehow a devaluing thing. Then it wouldn't be easy for these teachers to be having sex with these young male students, because, they would want girls, their age or younger. So my premise is that MILFs have value, that there is something inherently attractive about an older woman that discounts some of that narrative that we hear from so many men, not only in the manosphere, but, people talking about pedophiles, or people talking about, Hollywood casting. There's another layer to it. There's another layer to it. And some would say that the other layer to it is experience, right? That as men mature, as men get past that I want a princess stage in their life, as men realize that the one-itis thing isn't a real thing, as men grow beyond that, the theory is that then they value sexual experience, that they value the idea that a woman who knows how to give a man pleasure is much more valuable than innocence and virginity. There's something to that, but I don't think that's the bottom line. I don't think that's entirely true. But I have to wonder, what is it about what's considered the wall? And I really want some feedback on this. I'm dead serious. I gotta have some feedback on this. I want to know what you all think about the wall. Because there's a certain point in a woman's life where those things are true, where as she ages, it's almost like she could keep a certain level of beauty, but some wrinkles set in, or maybe she's had a few kids and she's put on some awkward body weight in certain areas, like under the arm flab, or, where she's not as perky, she's not as beautiful as she was in her early 20s, early 30s. And therefore she's seen as less. To some guys. Because I honestly, there are some women who age like wine. They age very gracefully. They keep a tight body. They work out. They don't overdo the tanning and the makeup so where their faces turn into leather and wrinkles. And so then you have the phenomenon known as Milfs. And everyone can respect a sexy older woman, and I don't think it has everything to do with sexual experience and the ability to be knowledgeable about what makes a man's biology tick. I don't think that's the bottom line. I think there's something else to it. So again, let me get back into what I started rambling about, and that's okay, because this attraction exists, because as a species, we're told that we're supposed to be attracted to people of similar maturity, similar stature, similar age, and even similar financial brackets and classes, to the point where now our dating and sexual marketplaces are these websites that are essentially like online shopping. We're looking for online reviews. We're going in, and they, a lot of these dating websites, they have the drop down menus, to filter out who you don't want. And so, I only date people of this race, or I only date people of this age bracket, or only date people that weigh this much, or are this tall, or make this much money. And it really takes out some of the personality, some of the organic ways in which human beings have interacted. And I'm sure there's been a million conversations about what's wrong with online dating and how impersonal it can be. But what I'm really trying to address here is you're clicking through these profiles, as you're scrolling through a dating website, and you come across a person. Those photos could range in a number of years. And I don't want to say, I'm not going to throw out the word fat fishing, but it exists. It happens. There's fat fishing. There are people who, their pictures are 10 years old and they're like 50 pounds heavier, or people who have taken a picture with a blurry camera or with a filter from a certain angle where you can't see really what they're packing. And that's dishonest. And there are a lot of people who have conversations about that. That's not the conversation I'm trying to have right now. What I'm trying to figure out is what's the difference between a post-wall harpy, right? What's the difference between a woman who has lived her life in the fast lane and done things like tanning too much and she's got the wrinkles, versus a woman who has maybe lived life, who's had a couple kids or had things, but still maintains a level of self-care, a level of beauty. Mind you, the other woman's been taking care of herself too. She's kept her weight down, but she's been tanning. Maybe she's had plastic surgery and it's not holding up as well. But, what I'm asking is, what's the difference between a post-wall woman and a MILF? What makes, to you gentlemen, or even women, what about an older woman can really cross that line from aging normally to aging gracefully and beautifully? What one quality do you look for? Is it the wrinkles? Is it the hair color? Because one reason I bring this up is to take it back to what I originally started talking about was these pedophiles. I don't believe, and then they call. So you got your pedophiles who, for some reason, want to have sex with children, but then you got those hebophiles. I don't know why they need a different term, but the hebophiles who want to have sex with young teenage people. And so a lot of men in our culture get accused of having hebophile type feelings because, when they look at pornography or when they look at advertising or when they want to watch a TV or a movie, they want to see younger women. And there tends to be this peak age for a Hollywood actress that's around 24. And, you had the whole situation with, what's his name? Gilbert Grape dude. Man, I'm having a brain fart. Anyway, so you had him not wanting to date older women, and he'd continuously date women under 25. Is this akin to pedophilia? Is the idea that a man wants a woman in her 20s, that a man finds that more valuable, is that akin to pedophilia in some sort of philosophical, primal instinct, unable to control one's attraction kind of way? They got the whole, you're born gay. Well, you're born in, I've heard this several times in the last 2 weeks, you're born a pedophile. You can't control it. I don't fucking buy that, by the way. I won't talk about violence, but I have some feelings. Let's just leave that there because I don't want to say something that will get me deplatformed. But okay, so the attractiveness to a woman of 22 to 28, right? For an older man to continue being attracted to women that young into his 40s and 50s and not progress into being attracted to Milfs or not being attracted to older women. Do you think, I want your opinion in the chat. So, or in the comments, if you're watching this later, let me know what you think. Do you think that like I just said, that there's something inherent about these men that they can't fathom an older woman as valuable, that they don't see the inherent beauty in a MILF? Do you think that, like I said, there's that connection to pedophilia where pedophiles have this carnal attraction to children? Do you think that older men now see a woman in her 20s as this young, fertile, innocent thing the way pedophiles would? And then, I'm trying to figure out what makes these kind of men tick, because quite frankly, I'm into big booty MILFs. Let's give a toast to big booty MILFs. Cheers to the big booty MILFs. She thick though. I know if Drexel from MGTOWN Podcast, if he could hear me, yeah, he'd probably judge me for old woman with a big butt. She thick though. But I gotta admit, I'm and I think that's it for me. I wouldn't say I'm a chubby chaser. I wouldn't say that I go hunt for BBWs. But to me, there's just a difference in women in their late 40s, early 50s who are super skinny and, like I said, tan a lot, have a little bit of wrinkles, versus someone who's just a little fuller. Like a little fuller in the face, a little fuller in the hips, a little fuller in the front side. I think there's something about just a little extra weight that helps the skin, that helps the curvature. That to me, I find that very fucking hot. And I could get into so many other things I find unattractive, like big, squared off shoulders. The skinny women with the real bony shoulder curve right here. I can't abide, because it reminds me of, again, going back to pedophilia, it reminds me of when my kids were like 11 and 12 years old. I've dated real skinny women with that kind of shoulder before, and then it just feels fucking weird. I'm not a damn hebophile, because I can't abide. Now, again, going back to the debate between Mr. Girl and Sitch and Adam, Mr. Girl would say that my repulsion has to do with my attraction, that I wouldn't be so revulsed if I wasn't first attracted. No, let me tell you folks, there's nothing like putting your arms around someone and then them reminding you of the very thing you find most unattractive. I dated another woman at one time, and I'm not going to get into too much of my own personal romantic and sexual history. But I dated another woman one time who was literally everything I was looking for. But I got her naked, and there was a large tattoo of the style that a rock star would get around the forearm, only it was across the... Yeah. So that revulsion, right? That revulsion, that disgust had nothing to do with some deep-seated shame of attraction, like was mentioned in that podcast. So I vehemently reject that. I think there's something deeper. And, I like to think deeply about topics like this because in the long run, I think these are important things for us to figure out. And I think he thought he had it figured out. And I think he was way off base. And I'm trying to rationalize with myself, well, how far off base was he and why? Exactly. In almost a Jordan Peterson kind of, well, let's figure out the exact point where the quest for the truth fell off the rails and why. And again, I think some of it, to me, is that cultural necessity to kind of mate in somewhat of your own age range. It's like a new toy. A new toy is fine, but if it's not a good toy, and before anyone gets upset with me, I'm not calling women toys. This goes the same for both genders. And any other genders you may think exists. Anyway, so it's like a new toy. If your toy is shiny and flashy, like fucking Tickle Me Elmo. Let's say, okay, you're a little kid and you get a Tickle Me Elmo for Christmas. You could love that fucking Elmo, but eventually you're gonna get sick of hearing that, right? You're gonna get sick of that shit. Why? Because it's annoying as fuck. It serves no practical purpose but to just vibrate and be fucking annoying. Like, no. Eventually you will be tired of that toy. No matter how much you love Elmo, no matter how much you want to show off your awesome Elmo, right? You're a little kid, you love your Elmo, you want to show it off, you're impressed by it, you want to impress other people. But you know what? When those other people aren't around, that Elmo's still sitting there. Are you going to play with it? Probably not. And this is where I get into the cultural problems with dating people rapidly younger than you. Look, if it's a one-night thing, if it's a 2-3 date thing, look, Hugh fucking Hefner is getting fucking Me Too'd after he's fucking dead. Because he liked the young girls and liked to ask them to do kinky, weird shit. But he also wanted to wife them. He also wanted to take care of them and also wanted them around for some fucking reason. Why, Hefner? Why, Hefner? Why do you want these women living in your house? Why did you? Excuse me. It makes no sense because, quite frankly, if you have nothing in common with these people, if someone you claim to be loving toward has no idea the culture you grew up in, has no idea the interactions you've had in life, has no way to be, I don't want to use the word empathetic, but understanding of who you are and how you became to be the whole person you've become. And you can't understand the whole person they've become because they don't have that mileage. It's one thing, for me to go to a club and to sit there, order a bourbon, and sit at the bar while young women are shaking their twerk behind me 50 feet. I don't listen to The Weeknd, right? They're out there, "Ooh, I'm blinded by the light." No, not me. I can't stand that dude. I can't stand that music. I can appreciate it being music, and I can sit there and drink my whiskey and be like, all right. But you're not going to see me out there grinding with these women. Why? Because eventually it's going to have to lead to a conversation. And trust me, I can have some conversations. I can make things happen if I wanted to make them happen. But eventually I'm going to get sick of it. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to be fucking tickle me Elmo. What fucking good are you to me? So there's something to be said for Milfs. That's all I'm saying. There's a place for them. I'm not saying wife them up. I'm not saying give them half your shit. I'm not saying fall in love, become a simp. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a place. And I'm saying they could be pretty fucking hot. And not just because they know how to do the little thing with your taint and, you know, whatever the hell skills they might have. So, what is it? What is it about us that find youth attractive, both visually and sexually? What is it about youth? What is it about innocence? Why is it so hard to convince other people that... And again, I'm not complaining, because for guys, look, look, you see me, I got a crooked fucking nose, a giant fucking crooked nose. I know I'm ugly. I got scars above my eyes. I know I'm ugly. But I'm aging like a nice barrel of bourbon. I'd like to think that to some degree I've gotten more rugged as I've gotten older. I used to be pretty fucking nerdy. Fucking nerds. I still am, but I'm not gonna pat myself on the fucking back here. Let me change this. This sounds pretty fucking masturbatory, doesn't it? The point I'm trying to make is, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in some sweet, innocent little girl. And you shouldn't be either. And if you're a fucking pedo that are, have these fucking urges to corrupt innocent children, let me tell you, you can shame yourself. You can grow out of that. You can become a fucking mature adult, and you can not be a goddamn degenerate. And quite frankly, like I said earlier, I'm not going to advocate for violence, but, if you can't fucking grow up, then perhaps you deserve some sort of non-consensual restraint of the violent type. And that's as far as I'll take that. Anyway, if anybody out there likes the Angel's Envy, leave me a comment saying you'll have a sip with me on a future broadcast. Anyway, that's all I got. I mean, I wanted to rant because I'm sick of hearing from these damn pedos and people like Piers Morgan who act like it's so offensive to talk about women in a realistic way, while at the same time shitting on Jordan Peterson for saying, hey, maybe some lonely men aren't the fucking evil devil Satan, fucking incel, demons you want to paint them out to be. So, again, fuck you, Piers Morgan, for that. So, that's really the only place I wanted to go with that, was to, definitely, if you can leave a comment below, let me know how you feel about age differences in dating and why it happens. Why men value innocence. And it's not, I don't want to get into a debate about the value of virginity. I get that to some degree. But, the value of youth, really. The value of innocence, really. And, let me know. Do you agree with Andrew Tate that it's a visual cue? Because I honestly, I don't agree. Andrew Tate, his premise essentially was that it was a visual cue that a woman hasn't been run through. I don't think that's the case anymore. There are girls going through the high school football team before they get out of high school. There are girls freshman year of college. And you could make the argument that, okay, well, yeah, but those girls wear it. Like, when you've done things like that, you kind of show it. Excuse me. I don't know if I fully agree with that. Not that it matters to me, because I'm not dating women that age, but, it's a philosophical question. And I love philosophical questions. I love things that everyone just knows exists, but nobody can explain why. So, go figure. Everyone's got their theories. My theory is men as a species, we have an evolutionary thing within us to plant our flag and conquer. And even though we may not be the first, we still want to leave a remnant of where we've been, right? This may sound gross to the women in the chat, but I think there's something to that. I think there's something to, well, if she ages while she's with me, then I aged her. It's almost I left my mark. I mean, this can go to the extreme, like the pimps who tattoo their brand on their property women, right? But I think it happens on a more subconscious level with every partner we take. I think, they talk about men and their conquests, right? But I think even those of us men who don't think about women as conquests or a notch in the headboard, right? I think there's still something subconsciously evolutionary where our beauty, when we look at beauty, it's like a graffiti artist seeing a blank wall, right? You leave your tag on it. You make your mark on it. So I think when men see innocence in a really fucked up weird way, there's something subconscious about that innocence that's like, okay, well, I want to be the one to fuck that up. I don't know. If I'm wrong, please leave me a comment below. Tell me I'm wrong. Because quite frankly, there's not a whole lot to talk about with this this topic of age and attractiveness. Just please don't fuck kids. Please. And if you're a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer and you feel this sudden urge to just come out and defend the idea of being sexually attracted to children, don't. Like, just get the fuck off the internet. Go sit at a fucking coffee house and fucking have a conversation with a real goddamn woman. I mean, I know fucking Vaush doesn't leave his basement but once every fucking decade, but Jesus fucking Christ. You know, I'm sitting here talking about how much I love philosophy. If you're sitting there in your fucking basement so goddamn long that your conversations about philosophy have fucking circled back to why the fucking pedos are right, then you should be looking at your fucking self in the mirror saying, what the fuck did I do wrong with my life that I'm fucking having this conversation? And maybe I'm fucking the one that's crazy. Maybe I'm the one who should be looking in the goddamn mirror wondering why the fuck I've watched these stupid internet streamers be fucking perverts. Maybe I'm the one with the problem. I don't know. Am I the one with the problem? Leave me a message in the comments below saying, yeah, Mild, you're the problem. I'm willing to take the criticism. I'm willing to say, okay, well, if they have the same fucking problem, maybe I have the fucking problem. Because for some reason, I can't get on the fucking internet without seeing pedophile apologists. That I can't get on Twitter without seeing fucking drag queens and children in the same video. So maybe I'm the one with the problem. Maybe I spend too much time on the internet. Maybe I spend too much time thinking about what's wrong with society, that there's all these fucking pedophiles. I try to spend my time online, chit-chatting with other degenerates in Nick Ricada's Locals Chat. I spend my time online just trying to get a little bit of news or have a little something to listen to while I'm doing the dishes or while I'm at work. I don't spend a lot of time online talking philosophy and societal acceptance. Is that my fucking problem? Is that I see this shit, I get disgusted by it? Is Mr. Girl right? Am I attracted to my disgustedness? I don't think so. I think there's just so many of these fucking weirdos. You know, when I was young, we're talking 1990s to 2000. The internet was for nerds. It was for outcasts. It was for the guys who didn't have enough drugs to go to the party in the neighborhood, right? I spent a lot of time online. I was one of those weirdos. I did MUDs and D&D and, you know, chat rooms. And let me tell you, even back then, I was getting nudes, man. The ladies. OnlyFans didn't exist. But chat rooms where you could embed images into an HTML tag and then that was some of the most fun shit, let me tell you. But we knew we were the weirdos of society. We knew we were the outcasts. We knew we were not fit for social settings. But eventually we made our own social settings. And now here it is, 25, 30 years later. And the social climate has changed. And now we're told that the pedos are the weirdos, that they're the ones that need the space, that they're the ones that need acceptance, that they're the ones that need to come into their own. Well, I hereby reject that. Anyway, I had a couple people watching live. They seem to have vanished. Hopefully I didn't offend them too much. Hopefully my crazy ranting about my own sanity didn't fucking run them off. But if it did, oh fucking well, because I was making a point. So drink some whiskey, raise a glass. Cheers to those who know that they're crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. I started 5 minutes late this evening. And we've been going for, about 45 minutes now. So, I think I'm going to call it an evening. And hopefully I won't run into the same bullshit online. And I'll try to be better prepared with actual news topics or actual culture topics. You know, big shout out to everyone who checked out my last video. I had some pretty good rants on that. And, people seemed genuinely interested in my Black Adam review, which I'll go ahead and let y'all know again. You should go see that movie. It was pretty good. So I'll catch y'all next time. Go ahead and leave me a like. Little thumbs up right below here. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what I've got wrong, what I said wrong, what I've done wrong, or what I've done right. Let me know your thoughts on age difference in sexual partners. And, without getting too graphically violent or against YouTube terms of service, let me know what you think the conversation with pedophile apologists online should look like. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share this to your friends and off platform. I could definitely use more people chit-chatting with me. This is actually, on the one hand, this YouTube thing is pretty difficult for me. But, just knowing that there's someone out there who may have an opinion to talk back to, eventually I'm going to work on getting a co-host or something just to kind of bounce some ideas off to and talk philosophically with. Let me know what you think about that. Leave a comment below. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share off platform, like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the bell for notifications. Yeah, I think that's it. So until next time, which should probably be this Saturday afternoon, I want y'all to really take care of each other. And I really mean that. Look, there's been a lot of talk lately about people who are having some rough times. In my personal life and online, I've heard a lot of people talk about how rough it is. And look, I'm crazy. I'll admit it. I'm crazy. You saw me go crazy a few minutes ago. You don't necessarily want me as your friend, but I'm here. Like, let me know if you're having a rough time, if you're finding it hard to see the end of a tunnel that you feel trapped in. I'm here to listen. And so are other people online. Just say something. Just find a place to chit-chat. And I hate this fucking word, find a community. Even if it's something temporary to hitch your wagon to fake it till you make it, find somebody to talk to. Anyway, take care of each other. I'll catch you next time this Saturday on Mild's Culture Plate. Love y'all. Take care. Peace.